Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Zimm Geek channel. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman, and today we're going to go through another adventure in cartooning. This is Cartooning 101C, Cartooning Expressions. And don't forget our rules of cartooning. All you need is paper and pencil. Make sure that you draw light because we'll do a lot of erasing, and most especially, don't get frustrated. And if you haven't looked at our previous instructional cartooning video, that is number 4. So please go back and take a look at that one because this one builds right on top of it right after it. All right, hang on, here we go. And we are back. Now, if you saw our last video, we were talking about the head, cartooning the head from a 3/4 view and from the front. Basic stuff. Now, the key to cartooning, the real reason that you want to cartoon is to get your point across to people without having to sit there all day and draw something realistic. So yeah, cartoons are fast, cartoons are expressive, but most of all, cartoons are exaggeration. But in the meantime, you take a character. How do you take a character and how do you show expression? Well, you were there for the last video, you know those 2 little eyebrows. Those eyebrows are so important because they are the key to your expression. You take those eyebrows and you turn them in towards the center line there, and all of a sudden our guy there has gotten a lot more angry or determined than what he was before. You take them and you do exactly the opposite with them. And of course, he's going to get more concerned. Cartoons need to be exaggerated. The more exaggerated you are, I think the more attention you're going to get, the funnier you become, and the more memorable your work becomes. So you're going to want to try to get just crazy expressive. And believe me when I tell you, there's really no limit to what you can do with expressions. You want somebody to look surprised? You don't just leave that concerned look on their face. You're going to take it and you're going to pop their eyes out bigger and move those eyebrows up and probably open that mouth up. Suddenly, you're looking at surprise. And then, of course, you wipe out the lines that you don't need. You really don't need those guidelines anymore on the face. You are pretty safe to remove them. Surprise, anger. The idea is to get your point across and to exaggerate that point so that there's no mistaking what the character is doing. This character is not angry. You know this character is not angry. This character, you add those extra icons, and the icons are so important. Also, again, all part of the fun of cartooning, and there's all sorts of icons that you can use. These are just little triangles that pop out. You could use sweat, beads of sweat that pop out. You could use exclamation points. You can use lines. There is no wrong as long as you are getting your point across. You have somebody that's angry. Don't just make them a little disappointed. Like this guy here. This guy looks just a little disappointed. Let's not do that. Let's make him mad. And don't be afraid to get into your characters' heads while you're doing this. Don't be afraid to pretend to get mad. Because that helps you in your expression. What happens when you get mad? Oh, I start gritting my teeth. My eyes get a little red. Oh, maybe my nose flares up. Don't be afraid to do that. You're here cartooning. You certainly should be enjoying yourself. That's when the cheeks get a little red. Oh, that's when you start getting that burn look. That's when the steam starts rolling out of the ears. Oh, man. And then, of course, he's probably going to start yelling. he's so mad. Oh, he's seething. Now we're gonna get into posture. We're gonna get into how the body is also going to be used to exaggerate this. But right now, I just wanted to do one to point out the probably obvious to a lot of you that when you're cartooning, don't just go for the little. Don't go for the little expression. Don't kind of make him mad. Make him really mad. The funniest cartoons that you see are the ones that deal in the over-exaggeration of the character. He's not just mad, he's really mad. He's not just in love, he's really in love. He's not just in lust. He's that. His head turns into a wolf character. He starts whistling. He does every emotion that you can imagine. And of course, if you've got this guy mad enough, not just steam rolling out of his ears, but eventually, he's going to blow his top. You know what's going to happen. And there's so many different ways of showing that. The more expressive, the funnier. The more funnier, the better. The more funnier, the more memorable it's going to be for you. And for your reader. I had to move my mic, I'm sorry. Here's a big boom. Don't be afraid to use those sound effects. Don't ever be afraid to use them sound effects. That's what they're there for. They're there to help drive your point home. All part of the fun of cartooning, and quite frankly, not enough sound effects being used out there. Not enough. Boom. Not just boom, but boom. You want that rattling. You want that shaking. This person is beyond mad. He has blown his stack. Beyond gritting his teeth. Oh, he might even have that jaw gritting. There's so much to do. Boom! Just blow his lid. Use icons. Use those pictures. Use those sound effects. Anything that you have to do to get your point across. And no, you can't do too much when it comes to extreme emotions. Now, little tinier emotions you're going to get into on your own. That you're probably going to have to work out what works best for you. You know, is the head going to be tilted? Little subtleties, depending upon your work, can also work for you. Don't be afraid to play around with your expressions. Don't be afraid to develop some on your own. Don't be afraid to try out something original. You should always be experimenting. It's all part of being an artist, is playing and having fun. The more fun you have with your work, the more fun people are going to have enjoying your work. Believe me, it does come through. As silly as it sounds, or silly as you might think it is, it works. Here's a little bashful dude. He's probably in love. Oh my goodness, poor guy. He doesn't know what's in store for him. And then again, we'll get into posture next time. How to make them look bashful. Everything that you use, you're going to want to use in order to promote your expression, in order to get that emotion out, in order to drive your point home. That's all part of cartooning. So yeah, definitely play, have some fun, sit there with a sketch pad. I recommend that totally. Sit in front of the TV with a sketch pad and just sit here and draw. Just have fun. Play around with different things. Oh, let's make her face thinner. Let's turn her into a girl. Oh yeah, here I am not using guidelines. Eventually, you will get to a point where you probably don't need guidelines. You'll see them in your head. There's a lot of great sketches, and I'll get into my sketchbook after a while, but one of the ways that I kept being a fan is to take my sketchbook around to different people and draw stuff. And there were quite a few artists that I saw. No guidelines, just sat there with a felt pen and bam, knock the thing out. But that's because they've been doing it for so long that they know, they see it in their head already. If you see it in your head already, you can probably get away with it without using guidelines. And that'll take a little practice. That'll take a little time, and most importantly, that'll take a little confidence. The more you do, the better you're going to get. The better you get, the faster you're going to get. I'm going to turn her expression up just a hair. I think she's got a little bit of disgust working there. That's always fun. What the heck is she looking at? Wipe out those guidelines and take a look here. Oh yeah. She's got a look about her. Oh, grab my pen here so that I can actually do something. Don't be afraid to sit there and play. Don't be afraid to buy a sketchbook and just go crazy with it. You know, sit here and take pages and pages and pages and pages and do faces and expressions, because you're eventually going to get it nailed down. You're eventually going to work it out in your own style. You're going to work it out in your own head, and it'll just do your art so much better. And of course, like I said before, you can always go back and look at other people's work. If there's somebody out there, some artist, some cartoonist that you really enjoy, take a look and see how they do their stuff. I'm not saying to copy them, especially if you plan on making a living at this. You've got to work out your own style. I wholeheartedly express that to you. You will have to work out your own style, your own work, but the way you get that is to pull stuff from other people. You know, there are times I'm sitting here doing a drawing and I'm going, wow, that kind of looks like Steve Ditko, or wow, that kind of looks like George Perez, or wow, that kind of looks like John Byrne. They're all people that I admire, all people whose styles that I've looked at, all people who I enjoy. Maybe my next top 10 list will be artists that I really enjoyed that maybe you should look at too. But probably not. I think my next top 10 list is going to be DC characters who should be in other media. That's what I'm playing with, at least. Anyway, I hope this has given you a direction. I hope that it has pointed you, given you some ideas. I do hope that you keep drawing and work out on that sketchbook, work out on them faces, have some fun, do some awesome cartoons, because, like I said, the more you do, the better it's going to look. All right? Okay. I am going to go now. I think we've probably gone long enough. And next time, next instructional that we do, we're going to go back to that body. We're going to give it some clothes. If we have some time, we'll work on some posture, positioning for that body, but we definitely need to clothe it. Alright, I'm throwing a collar in here just to throw it in there. Oh, this guy. Anyway, alright. Need to stop. If you have any questions, please drop me a comment. Let me know. Let me know if this was good for you at all. I hope this had a little bit of instructional for you. I hope you have some fun and that you play around with expression, because it's part of the joy of cartooning. All right? And for more on expressions and exaggerated cartooning, I suggest you check around here on YouTube. There are hours and hours of great old cartoons available for you. Just check under Tex Avery, Looney Tunes, your favorite old cartoon character, and look at how they do expressions. I hope this video was good for you. You got something out of it, or at least were entertained by it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Definitely subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications. Spread my link around to anybody you think this might help, or that you think might enjoy getting a little cartooning and learning a little bit more about comics. Next video, we'll cover comics history. Video after that, we'll start cartooning again. All right? So until next time, take care, and thanks a lot for being here.